Kind of a gray, gloomy day today, so I'm sure the video looks off just a little bit instead of the sunshine coming in. And I'm still experimenting with the camera stuff. So, one of the things I've been thinking about is one of the things that in rational therapy we call metacognitions, or secondary cognitions, or secondary problems. And what I mean by that is there's always the first problem, right? There's always the issue that's going on that you're stressing yourself out about, that you're causing anxiety about, that you're causing depression about. But one of the hardest parts about trying to fix that and get healthy is that this secondary problem, this metacognition, this meta emotion, this secondary emotion, it's different in all different texts, is that until you take care of that, you're not going to take care of the first problem. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that you are struggling keeping jobs, right? You come to my office, you're struggling keeping jobs. Anybody could see how that would be uncomfortable, disappointing, frustrating. I think anybody would want to be able to provide for their family, provide for themselves, be a strong-willed person. The type A people that I'm talking to know they want to lead, they want to be providers. And that's going to cause some kind of discomfort that you cause yourself, no matter how you play that. And that's obviously an issue that we want to take care of, whether we deal with that in a practical issue and try to get you better at finding and keeping good jobs, at working with other people. That's going to be important. But this secondary problem is causing even more emotional toil. If you are having trouble keeping a job, not providing for your family, the secondary part of that is that you have a label of yourself, a demand for yourself, a demand for the world. So for example, go back to the idea of you're having trouble keeping a job, providing for your family. It's an issue we need to deal with. This secondary issue is the fact that you aren't able to keep a job, the fact that you aren't able to provide, and you making a demand that you should be able to, you have to be able to, you must be able to, and you label yourself as a shitty person, an a-hole, worthless, no good. You've come to this conclusion that you're a terrible, horrible person. That causes within you some kind of strong emotion. Anger, anxiety, depression, guilt. While these cognitions or these emotions are going on, these really bad emotions, these dysfunctional emotions, you're not going to get to the issue of figuring out how to keep the job or how to get better at that. You're so stuck on your label for yourself and this anger and anxiety and depression and guilt that it causes, this feeling of hopelessness. What do you think your behavior is going to be about that? You think you're going to just suck it up and run out and figure this all out? No. You're going to have some quiet time. You're going to be doing something around your house. You're going to be driving down the road. You're going to be thinking about life. And now you're spending all of your energy on the fact that you have this hardcore label for yourself, this irrational label for yourself, and you're so depressed or anxious or angry or guilty that it seems hopeless, not worth it, that you're no good. You're stuck on that. You're stuck on this secondary emotion now. We can't even get to the fact that you want to have a job, wish to have a job, or demand that you have a job. You're so stuck on this label for yourself that you're going to be absolutely consumed by this label. You're going to be absolutely consumed with this horrible label of yourself. And here's the thing about that. I don't think anybody wants to not be productive. Nobody wants to not feel good. Nobody wants to label themselves as a terrible person. But you do. You've labeled yourself as an a-hole, worthless, no good, terrible, piece of crap husband, piece of crap father, bad person, terrible human being. And even though you feel that's true, even though you feel like you have some evidence for that, because you aren't providing right now, because you aren't able to find that job. That's not what you're saying in your label. The label you're giving yourself is 24/7, 365. I'm a worthless effing human being. I'm a worthless piece of crap. I'm an a-hole. I'm a terrible father. I'm a terrible husband. My question for you is, can you prove that? I know it feels like you can. I know it feels like you have some emotion. And maybe we can make an argument for the fact that you're not doing your best. We can make an argument for the fact that you're not doing well, or not working as hard as you can, or not providing, as much as that would sting. We can make an argument for that. I'm doing crappy things. I'm doing things that at this moment, I feel like I'm not a good father. At this moment, I feel like I'm not doing what I should be doing. The problem is you've labeled yourself, always have been, are now, always will be. That's the label you're carrying for yourself. Can you prove that you always are now, and always will be a horrible person, an a-hole, a loser, a piece of crap? Let me ask you this. If your kid came to you and they had done something bad, done something in a relationship bad, done something at school bad, would you label them a piece of crap? Would you label them a horrible person? Would you label them worthless? I bet not. I bet not. But why do you do that? Because you're just being nice? Because you're just trying to be a leader? No, it's because you know people screw up. It's because you know things go wrong. But it is that demand that your kid is putting upon themselves. I should never fail. I should be a perfect student. I should have made the team. I shouldn't have screwed up the relationship. I shouldn't have lost the job. I shouldn't have been in a car wreck. It is that demand they're placing upon themselves that makes them that label of a terrible, horrible person. Always are now, always will be. Soul crushing. Did you tell your kid they're not that because you're being nice? No. You told them that out of rationality. So why can't you do that for yourself? Well, it's hard. It's emotional. I realize that. I did it for years. But if you can't prove that they're a worthless person because of something they've done, if you can't prove they're a terrible person because of a series of things that they've done wrong, how can you prove it about yourself? And we're not saying be happy, don't care. But what if your label for yourself was more rational? Something to the effect of, I'm screwing up right now. I'm not getting this part right. And I don't feel good about that. And my emotion leaves me very frustrated and upset. Yeah, go be frustrated and upset. Maybe you'll find the energy. Maybe you'll find a way to get better. Go be frustrated and upset. Guess what happens at depressed, anxiety, anger, and guilt? Overreaction, pushing your family away, responding negatively when it's not necessary, sitting on your ass because I just can't do it and I can't get the motivation. How about you feel frustrated and disappointed, upset with yourself? Not by just saying that to yourself, but by realizing that your label is irrational. By realizing that your demand that you must get it perfect, or you're a worthless piece of crap, is completely irrational. Go be frustrated. Realize that your label is hard, but be rational about it. I'm screwing up right now. I don't feel like I'm living up to my potential. I'm messing up. I don't know what to do here. But I'm not a worthless piece of crap. I'm not a terrible human being. There are no good and bad people. There's people that do good and bad things. It's unconditional self-acceptance, not unconditional love, not unconditional I'm awesome. Unconditional self-acceptance. Figure out the rational label. Figure out the irrational demand that you have for yourself in your life. Make it rational. Have a functional emotion about that, which will provide you a decision to make a functional behavior and go fix this issue.